And welcome to the week 15 assignment video. In this video, we're going to go over the assignment for week 15 to get you ready to go do well on that assignment. It's an interesting one. It's one that you will probably be involved in, and certainly if you're in civil litigation, you're highly likely to be involved at some point in your career in writing up jury instructions, which is essentially what the law is that the jury needs to know. We have to write those up for the judge. The judge doesn't do it by themselves. And then both sides actually write them up, and then the judge has hearings on what are the correct ones to have for the trial. But we have to essentially make the law for the jury in the form of jury instructions, as if it's coming from the judge, for the judge to use if they're approved, so the jury will know what the law is in a given case. Now, this is going to end up being a case that's very similar to one we've had before. In fact, it's exactly the same, except that now we're going to draw up jury instructions for it. Let's get directly into the assignment and see what we're talking about. Let's look on the week 15 graded activities. Hopefully it'll come up. Takes a minute sometimes. Okay, here's the jury instruction assignment. Please assume the same factual scenario of your negligence complaint assignment that you prepared earlier in the class. That was, let's see, John Smith was the plaintiff, I believe, and Jeffrey Jones was the defendant. Jeffrey Jones was the one who was texting while driving and slammed into the back of John Smith's car. And that was the first of our assignments, actually, in this class on week 2. All right, so you're now going to prepare jury form instructions for the jury trial in that case. This would not be every one that you would do because that takes quite a bit of experience, but you're going to get the main ones having to do with negligence. And in this case, because there was a violation of law that ended up causing the accident, we have what's called negligence per se. Whenever you have a violation of law that's designed for the purpose of protecting people from some sort of danger, and you, because you violate that law, the danger that was there to be protected against is what occurs in the case and causes damage to someone, then you are negligent as a matter of law when you're proved to have violated that statute, that criminal and or civil statute. Whenever it becomes unlawful to do what you did, then it's certainly negligent, because it's always negligent to violate the law, and therefore if violating the law is what causes the accident, then you are there in terms of liability. All right, so you're going to please download the Word file. It's called Jury Instruction Assignment Materials. You're going to download it, and I'm going to open it here for you as well. And then you're going to fill in the appropriate information in the jury forms, and then you're going to save your finalized version, and then you're going to upload it in the Jury Instructions Assignment tab for 50 points. Now let me give you exactly what it is that we're talking about when it comes to the jury instruction. I want to bring it right over here for you to see. Now, if you download the document, what you're going to see is this. This is the Jury Instruction Assignment Materials. And what it has is 3 jury instructions for the jury. And each of them are on the claim of negligence. And it adds in a negligence per se instruction as well. But the first one is negligence. And all you have to do for this is you have to take out the brackets, put in the name of the plaintiff. And so it'll read, plaintiff claims that, and then you take out whether it's a he or a she, take out, put either the he or the she, take out the brackets. It'll be plaintiff, it'll be John Smith claims that he was harmed by, defendant's name is Jeffrey Jones's negligence. To establish this claim, John Smith must prove all the following: that Jeffrey Jones was negligent, that that John Smith was harmed, and that Jeffrey Jones' negligence was a substantial factor in causing John Smith's harm. Okay, now that's pretty simple. If you could fill that in, you have now made out a jury instruction. To see how easy it is when we have formal jury instructions to actually create one, because it's really just a matter of putting in the names of the parties and a few other little tidbits to make sure that it's true in terms of the right gender and that sort of thing. And then we've got it. Now, here's the second one, which is basic standard of care. This only requires you to put in the name of the plaintiff and defendant. So it'd be acted in John Smith and Jeffrey Jones's situation. That's all. That's it. Everything else is a standard form jury instruction. Now, those are very, very easy. You think, well, this is going to be very, very easy. Well, the next one's going to be a little bit more difficult. And that's what we call negligence per se instruction. Now, what this does is it it has you putting, again, the name of the defendant, plaintiff, where appropriate. And it's, in this case, it's the defendant who violated the law, not the plaintiff. So you don't want to put that in there. It could be plaintiff or defendant depending upon who was suing who, because sometimes there are cross complaints. Defendants sometimes sue the plaintiff sues the defendant. So that's why they have both the name plaintiff and defendant there. But you have to put the right name of the right person in there, because in this case, it's the plaintiff's case. We are the attorney for the plaintiff, and so we're giving jury instructions that are favorable to the plaintiff, not to the defendant. But what's really an issue here is that you have to put in the name of the statute and what it states. So it'll be, and here's your statute, by the way. It's Vehicle Code Section 23123.5, use of electronic wireless communication device to write, send, or read text message communications. Now, it has 5 subsections. Many of these subsections have nothing whatsoever to do with our civil case. For instance, the penalty for violating this section is $50. Not a very big penalty, by the way, because a lot of people die from this kind of infraction. But anyway, there is actually a fine if you had a criminal case. Well, we don't have a criminal case here. This is a civil case where the driver of the vehicle that was hit is suing the person who hit them because that person was text messaging while they were driving, and distracted driving is what caused the accident. And there's all sorts of things in here about, let's say, this section does not apply to any emergency services professionals using an electronic wireless communication device. Well, we don't have a police officer, for instance, using a wireless communications device in their police car, so that section doesn't have anything to do with it. But what you'll do is you read sections A, B, and C, and you're gonna take out of A, B, and C the language that fits this situation, and not all language will fit. So, for instance, it says here that if you dictate, send, or listen to a text-based communication, then it's exempt. But that's not what was going on. He was texting, and that's what led to the accident. So texting was either he was reading a text or he was typing a text. And so you want to put in only the part that applies. In this case, it says a person shall not drive a motor vehicle while using an electronic wireless communication device to write, send, or read a text-based communication. Well, that's exactly what we would allege happened here. And so certainly that sentence is going to be in your description of what the statute says. Now, it also then defines what write, send, or read a text-based communication means, and you may want to put that into there as well. It means using an electronic wireless communication device to manually communicate with any person using a text-based communication, including but not limited to communications referred to as a text message, instant message, or electronic mail. So you can't even do an email, for instance, so it'd be the same as texting. And so you probably want to put that definition in there too. And so when you put in what this section states, you're going to have everything within the entire statute that applies only to this case as we know it. Now remember, all we know is he was texting in some fashion, as he admitted, and so he was either receiving a text, I mean, he was reading one, or he was sending one. Either way, it doesn't make any difference. But you're going to put in the language that only fits what was going on in this case. And you're not going to fit in any language having to do with the fact that there are penalties for criminal prosecution for texting while driving, for instance, because this is not a criminal case. This is a civil case, and you're giving jury instructions in a civil case between the victim and the perpetrator. Okay, and so the rest of it is just putting in the proper name of the plaintiff or the defendant, as the case may be, but do understand it's the defendant who violated it, not the plaintiff. And we put in the correct name, whether it's the plaintiff or the defendant, in here. We take out the brackets. And so you're literally, if I click on Enable Editing, just to show you, you could take out the brackets. This is just a Word document. And take out the brackets, put in the name, Jeffrey Jones. There it is. So I want these brackets out of there. I want this to be as if it were a newly typed document, and it's the way it should be. And it should be completely filled out. There shouldn't be any holes left in there, like brackets left in there, any of these italics words in here that are your cue to what to put in the brackets. But the bracket simply is an addition of something. It's asking you to add something in there, but not to leave the brackets in there as well. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of work on your part. Oh, by the way, excuse me, there's one more instruction I forgot about. Comparative fault of plaintiff. But this requires, again, you to simply put in the name of the defendant, plaintiff, into the instruction for this last instruction. That's, in other words, just a very easy one for you to have here. So your biggest challenge here is to put in the correct words from the statute, and only those words that relate to the part of the statute that relates to this case, and in this case only. You don't put the entire statute in there. That's not what the jury needs to know. They only need to know the part of the statute that relates to the case and nothing more. All right. So that's what you're going to be doing. Then you're going to be putting this in good form. There shouldn't be any gaps in here. There should be it should be typed as if it was a newly typed document, and otherwise it'll be just these series of jury instructions, fully filled out. And this thing is, you can leave the vehicle code in there. That's just for your purposes. But in your instructions, it wouldn't be there. And then you'll type that up. You'll save it. You'll upload it to your assignment tab for the jury instruction assignment, and that should do it. Again, if you have any problems with this, give me a call. We'll be more than glad to help you to know what to do if this is confusing in any way. Thank you.